Hey everyone, welcome to Infinite Realms. This is Robert. And, of course it's Robert, because who else would it be? It is Robert's Infinite Realms. Alright, a few things to talk about, and something has occurred to me. We heard about the fourth quarter falls and 1,000 people losing their jobs, and then all hell started breaking loose with Wizards of the Coast after the fourth quarter. And on top of that, the QC issues are getting outrageous. Tony Roberts of Analog Toys just did a excellent video on everything that's going on with Hasbro and its quality control issues. And it seems Hasbro is a sinking ship. I mean, because if the fourth quarter was that bad, imagine what this quarter is going to look like. It's going to look even worse because there's a lot of pissed off fans who've had a lot of things taken away and a lot of things broken and a lot of things have gone wrong. From what I can see, that they have not recovered. Wizards of the Coast has not recovered from that PR nightmare they created. And woo, dumpster fire is not even a big enough word for this. And I'm just getting the feeling, wow, as bad as it is now, what's the next quarter going to look like? Because I guarantee you it's going to be even worse. I think that's why they did the G.I. Joe Day celebration with such weirdness. 24-hour notice. I mean, I don't even think it was a full 24 hours. I think it was 20 hours. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a live stream. And he stepped right over Star Wars on that one. Interesting on them. Yeah, kind of out of the blue and just kind of, I don't know. I mean, and all they had was like computer renders, and it's like, okay. I mean, I can't help but think a computer render really doesn't take that long, does it? I mean, I don't know. I play around with graphics. I mean, if you already know what you're going to do, because, I mean, nothing looks dynamically different in these renders. I mean, if you already have a pretty good idea, it's not going to take you long. Right? Just saying. Okay, so I haven't gone over any of the releases the past little bit, and I figured I'd play a little catch up today. My life has just been really busy, guys. I just do apologize. It's just, I can't, it's hard for me to get a consistent go on the channel because things keep popping up. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to just kind of skip on over here, and I'm going to take a look at some of the newer reveals for Marvel Legends and for G.I. Joe Classified.
Okay, so I just wanted to go over this first because I just found this to be so hilarious. It's on a group I'm in on Facebook that somebody got an official response from Hasbro about the Scarlet figure not having any kind of handle. Apparently, she's supposed to hold it by the scope, and I don't know how she's supposed to aim, but where's the trigger? I mean, isn't the trigger on the handle? I I present this to tell you, you know, sorry, Hasbro does not know what they're doing with the GI Joe line. They really don't have a clue, and this is just more proof that they don't. It's just insane to me, just totally insane. And we got some reveals. Let's go over it little by little. Zoom in a little. This is the Steel Core. Uh, I I hate that name. I cannot get over it. Steel Core. Um, it's just weird to me, and the alternate heads really do kind of summon up a Halo Spartan kind of image. I have always hated the design of this head. I just never liked it. They finally included some jetpacks though, which surprised me it took them this long. Jetpacks, most of the time when G.I. Joe redoes itself, the jetpacks come pretty quickly because they're easy to do. And, it's just simple and easy. I don't understand why it took so long, but there it is. And of course, you got guns here with removable clips that probably won't stay in. We got a female version 2, which is first time, but I can't help but think they're copying somebody else. Kind of feels that way and looks that way. I mean, there just was a female done in another line similar to that. These little straight lines I'm not sure about. This is the thing about the blast effects that Hasbro's presenting is they're kind of all over the place. I mean, the Valorverse ones are simple, just little effects. Boom. I mean, you got it. I mean, this is not a huge deal. These are just feel a little awkward and strange. I mean, I'm just being blunt about it. I'm gonna just say this too. I was never a fan of the original Steel Brigade, uh, probably because by the time Steel Brigade came around, G.I. Joe had a ton of characters. I felt the need for an army builder in G.I. Joe wasn't as needed as it was in Cobra. Cobra just made sense. G.I. Joe did not make sense to me. I didn't like the design because it had that big fat melon head. I mean, that head is huge, huge, huge head. So that's a little tough. The redesign on the power of the Pursuit of Cobra line. Sorry, Power of the Cobra line is what I almost said. The Pursuit of Cobra line did streamline it a little bit. I had like one or two of those. I know when it came time to start selling stuff out of my collection, that one was like really in the front line of the chopping block. So that lets you know how I felt about the Steel Brigade. I don't even know why I bought them. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't remember why I bought the Steel Brigade figures. I just did. So I really didn't like Steel Brigade until the redesign by Valaverse. I thought that one looks streamlined. It looks better. I really got the Night Ops version first. I really liked it, and I got to looking at the um, more basic one, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good design. Um, it holds enough of it really streamlined it down. It looks like something somebody would actually wear. I still don't think this is something somebody would actually wear. It just doesn't look like a real thing. It doesn't look real to me. My thoughts, my opinions. It's that simple. This is not something I'm going to really put on even on my maybe list, not because I'm trying to knock anybody's taste. I know a lot of people are really up for this, and that's fine. It's just not for me. And, I'm trying to explain why. And, you know, some people are going to take that into the comments and go, oh, God, you're awful. I'm a terrible guy. Okay, next we have scrap iron. Now, again, it's digital render, but this right here caught my eye. It almost looks like it's in a V shape at the visor, and maybe it's just not, again, digital render. Maybe it's not done, and maybe I'm seeing something into it. I don't hate the design. He looks like he's got a little Game Boy right here. That's cute. And of course, the drone looks like a little like an HK had a baby with a hunter killer from Terminator had a baby with Johnny Five. Now the blast effects, I like these little blast effects that I would presume you can put on the end of the missiles here and plug them into the launcher. That works. Um, this right here I think is supposed to be like speeding away, and then I think it's supposed to be explosion. What I don't understand is this. I think it's supposed to be backblast, and I think maybe it goes like either here, back here, or maybe here. I'm not 100% positive. It's a little strange and oddly shaped, so I'm not sure about it at this point. I mean, it could work. I mean, maybe when we see it in 3D, we can understand it better. What I'm thinking though is this is going to cost. I think people are going, oh, it'll be about, $40. I think it's going to cost a lot more than that. I really do. I'm going to hold out until I see it and see what the price tag is. Um, if they improve the head a little bit, that visor, they improve that visor, and then help make sense of these blast effects, maybe. Um, I'm not going to commit 100% to it, but it's on my maybe list. So there we are. Scrap Iron, he's not one of my top 10 favorite characters at all. So passing on him won't be hard for me. Okay, the one that kind of everybody's gaga over, and I don't think everybody's noticed something. Okay, let me get the good out of the way. The flight pod, aka the trouble bubble itself, looks pretty all right. I mean, it's what I expected. There's missiles on the side. There's the turret. Yeah, I mean, it works. It looks good. It looks, you got a little seatbelt to hold the figure in. Yeah, it works. And, there's a little readout here on the front. That is all right. Now, we get over here to the backpack. This always was a very confusing point with G.I. Joe fans. Is this a projector? Is this a camera? What is it? I always used it as a camera. I always had my Televipers being also recon troopers. So that's how I settled it. But I've seen in various cartoons and various fan fictions where they use it as a projector for some reason, and so that's why that's what they do with it. I mean, to each their own, I suppose. I mean, we never got a very definitive answer on that thing, so yeah. I mean, I can kind of see people debating it, but I'm surprised it hasn't changed much. If they're going to go for the same thing, and it's not really different. It's almost perfectly the same. But now, okay, again, it's a digital render. I get that. I'm not arguing that. You have swappable heads, obviously Caucasian and African American. That's fine and dandy. Here's the thing though, you can obviously tell right here this was not intended to be covered. The arms were not intended to be covered, and as a result, I mean, it looks like they just put a paint overlay over it, which doesn't work because then it kind of looks like the Televipers wearing that stuff that Roddy Piper wore in the WrestleMania match with Bad News Brown on half his body. And how Roddy Piper did not get into major trouble for that, I don't know. He didn't age well. Uh, you might remember the Hot Scott bit. And yeah, that one's yeah, I I don't really like these black arms. I mean, there's another part of me that thinks Blazing Saddles when it says, "Oh, Brother Hargis, wash your hands after cross burnings on Sunday." It's just like, yeah, yeah. Again, I don't mind different ethnicities being in a head swap. I mean, again, it's another Valaverse thing, and it works real well. I think this is an attempt to copy that and fail. I think you should have just kept the sleeves uncovered and maybe give us this sort of helmeted head, and that would have made a whole lot more sense. Uh, you could put out the Televiper later with a different skin color. If you're going to do swappable heads with race, I think you need to just have the head, just have the eyes exposed. That's it. Because I think if you do anything else, you're limiting everything about the figure. You have to cover every aspect of their body. This isn't a lazy attempt to cover up the rest of the body, and I think it looks ugly. Totally blunt. Maybe this will go to the redesign. I don't know. I kind of hope it does. Okay, moving on. Snow Job! Now, the thing about this one is, I do think he looks a little blocky. I mean, look at him. He looks like something out of Minecraft. I mean, minus the head. I mean, you look at him, he looks like somebody out of Minecraft. And again, digital render. I know, I know, I know. So don't ding me in the comments and like, oh, it's just a digital render. Yeah, well, I mean, still, I've never recalled seeing a digital render that made me think of Minecraft. So it's kind of weird because it seems to be borrowing for Snow Job from all over the place. They got where his hood can come down. He's got some goggles there. Uh, this almost looks like something you could make into a sled with the skis, and that reminds me of Blizzard, which is another Arctic character. Okay, I mean sure, and snowshoes, same thing. Blizzard had that. It's not really that original an idea or anything. It's just something that I noticed and am commenting on. The gun, um, maybe it's me, but that kind of looks a little like Iceberg's gun, except in black and gray instead of white. And, again, I'm almost getting like this is an amalgamation of several different versions of Arctic Troopers, rather than it being just Snow Job. Is that bad? I'm not going to say it is yet. I'm going to wait till we see the actual figure before I decide. But it's something that really stuck out to me in these digital renders because these digital renders look different to me. Some of them look a little rushed, which makes me think they were. I mean, I'm just being blunt about it. I think they were rushed a little bit. Um, I can see this figure working out though. I think a few touch-ups and it can work out. But, a lot of people are looking at all these accessories going, man, this is going to be a deluxe figure. And that will be very disappointing if it ends up being a deluxe figure because, um, their deluxe figures don't seem to be very deluxe. But start looking at the count of accessories, they're right. I mean, it should be a deluxe figure, and that's going to affect the decision on buying. Um, you know, at least this one closer to looking deluxe than Kamakura or Sergeant Slaughter. I will say that much. I'll give it that much, that it looks a little better than those two. Okay, let's move on to some Marvel Legends. All right, the Squadron Supreme. And when I first heard of this one, I got a little excited, and then, well, I saw the renders. And yeah, this is a bit of a letdown, to say the least. I mean, it's the best way I can describe it is, I mean, as we can see here, I mean, of course, these are pins. This is all reuse, of course. And I mean, I expect a certain level of reuse, yeah. That's goes with the territory, of course. But both these are old, tired molds. And I mean, yeah, Dr. Spectrum comes with, these tried and true, boring effects. They've just been overused at this point. I mean, we've gotten everything we can with them. And on top of that, Squadron Supreme. I mean, I've never been the biggest Squadron Supreme fan. I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't love them. So seeing this pack with the Squadron Supreme, I'm kind of going, I don't know. I mean, I kind of might have wanted it a few years ago, but today, with, shelf real estate being a premium, I don't know if this is a premium figure for me. Either one of these. I don't have a whole lot of love. I mean, I have a lot of liking towards Squadron Supreme. I remember J. Michael Straczynski's more mature version, which has some hits and misses in it. I remember the original Squadron Supreme, and I did enjoy some stories with them, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, God, do I really want these figures? And I had to think about it for a while. Um, I had to sleep on it a couple of days, and I finally just said, no, I don't want these. I mean, this is just, I mean, they're okay characters, and I like reading stories with them in it, but I don't really love these characters. And so, as such, I don't see the real need for me to get these. That may sound odd, that may sound stupid, but yeah, I um I just don't feel that way. It took me a few days to come to this conclusion. These are not the best figures in the world. And I'm just gonna say pass on these. Saved me $50, right? I gotta put that to my power bill since they're raising that so high. Ugh. Okay. That's just some thoughts on. I mean, I'm a little underwhelmed. Part of it may be because I'm seeing a lot of digital. That's going to be my new word. Digital. Digital is when they put out a bunch of crap and it looks like shit because it's all digital renders. Digital. Digital renders. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for Infinite Realms today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, guys.